The world is full of friends with fur who fill our lives with wolves.
All right, well,
Oh,
it's
Jesus.
working now. Okay, it's super loud. Okay, we fixed it.
Yay.
I blame Martin because we did all the testing prior to the live stream and everything was set up and working. And
Should
then
we start again?
yes, we're gonna start all over again. Okay, wait a second here. We're gonna.
The world is full of friends.
Hello, people of the internet. I am American McGee again.
I'm Martin again.
And we didn't have any audio there for a moment, but now we do. And I blame Martin. So
I blame me.
I was saying that we are coming to you live from the underground lair here in Shanghai, and it's a lovely, beautiful day outside. There's blue skies and big white puffy clouds, and that
Yep.
we've just survived a typhoon.
Yes, and I said where I was, it wasn't that bad. It was a little blustery, but it didn't feel like dangerously blustery.
It blew down trees here. It was
Okay.
crazy. I was actually a bit stressed out. There's a kind of little river or creek that runs along the back of our property here, and I was watching it rise, and it overran its banks, and trees were getting blown down, and it was like the only place that I could find refuge from the sound of all of it was down here in the basement, because up in the rest of the house, it was just this constant, for like 3 days. So
Yeah, it was windy, but I was waiting for like mentalness to happen, but it just didn't happen in
well,
Jing'an.
that's because you're in the middle of the city, and we're right on the ocean. Anyway,
I did get rain blowing in through the cracks around the sides of my window,
we got that here.
which is a little bad, I guess.
We got water streaming in through our walls. I don't even know how that happens, but there are 2 places in the house where water came in through the wall. Anyway, enough about the weather. Let's say hi to our insane children.
Who we got? There's Craig Spurlock.
There's Patient 322.
Yep.
I'll be in my office. I don't think that
Shorty's in the house is here.
Pizza Boy Tubular. Nice
It's
to
a new
see
one.
some new faces and names. Papa Pew Pew. Very nice to meet you as well.
Frecky42.
IRC Rockstar. Boy, IRC
Noxy
is
Foxy.
IRC. I forgot all about IRC. That used to be like the way we chatted on the internet. But I don't know if that's what that
Back in
person
the
is
day.
referring to. Yeah. Frecky42, Noxy Foxy. Yeah. Lots of new faces and names here. So welcome to all of you.
And I hope you enjoyed the technical issues.
Exactly.
We're normally a little better than that,
Mm.
usually.
So there is Octo Chicken Greg. For those of you who've not joined one of our streams before, we are coming to you from China. That does mean that we have to get over the Great Firewall using a VPN, and sometimes the VPN falls down and we may look like we've gone offline, but we usually come back. So if that happens, you just press F and you pray, and if you're on YouTube, you smash like, and then we'll be back. All right.
Do
What
the
are we
things.
What are we doing today?
We're doing the things. We're going to play Madness Returns. We're going to look at some arts. We're going to look at some biz dev stuff. We're going to give away some prizes.
Can't see the menus over there anymore. So we're going to give away prizes today. We're going to give away Wolfenswines 4 times. So you'll be able to win a Wolfenswine. We basically do that at kind of like every half hour, but I think we'll do it a little bit off schedule today because we lost some time at the beginning there. But yeah, we will let you know when you can win. And
should start thinking of questions.
you should. Someone's asking about your shirt. Is Martin's Satama shirt okay?
Great. It's a famous scene from One Punch Man. It's very funny.
Yes, someone is mentioning that if you want to win prizes, you can only do that on Twitch. So if you're currently on YouTube, you should get off YouTube and get over on Twitch, because that's where Nightbot looks for people to give prizes to.
Yeah, blame Nightbot. Let's blame the robots.
There you go. Good. So why don't we just jump right into playing some Madness Returns, and then after that, we're going to have a look at some artwork from Asylum, and then we're going to talk about Plushie Dreadfuls. Oh, we're going to premiere the animated theme song video for Scruffy Bumps. He's hiding right there. He's waiting for it. He's creeping back there in the background. He's pretty creepy.
Yeah, a little bit.
He's not been an easy toy to design. We're now on like our 4th or 5th. This is another one, but if I put it in front of Martin, maybe you can kind of see it. But we're on like our 4th or 5th iteration of Scruffy Bumps. Yeah. This one doesn't have a face. This is just a Scruffy Bumps without a face. And we just can't seem to nail it. But meanwhile, a lot of the other things around Scruffy Bumps are coming together quite nicely. Like we did the skull, and we've got a bunch of other stuff. But for some reason, the plush toy itself, we're really struggling with trying to get it right. So anyway, we'll get there.
We'll get there.
We'll get there eventually.
Soon enough, don't worry.
So this is Alice Madness Returns. For those of you that have been following along, we've been playing... we've been doing a Let's Play of this for, I don't know, like a year? It's been a really long time. And then this last couple of weeks, apparently there were a couple of fairly well-known kind of YouTubers that all did... Oh man, I suck. There were a couple of YouTubers that did Let's Play / reviews of the original Alice and of Madness Returns, and all together they got, you know, into like 1 million or more views. And they caused a bit of a kind of tweet storm, because people were basically asking, like, what's going on with the universe? Like, why is it that suddenly everybody's playing the Alice games?
Do we know?
I don't know. I'd say that it's maybe synchronicity. There is such a thing, you know. Freud talked about synchronicity. He even wrote a little booklet about it. So it must be something just in the universe that wants people to play and check out Alice and Alice Madness Returns. I watched all of the reviews, and there's something I want to say. First of all, I think that YouTubers these days with their Let's Plays are getting to a level of consistent quality and humor that is really, it's super entertaining. It's great to see that there's a kind of cynical but funny, kind of dry but goofy, like meme-tastic, you know, it's this combination of a sort of language of the internet combined with an understanding of, you know, 2 decades of games combined with I don't know what, a lot of fun stuff that makes these videos really watchable and very funny. So yeah, I checked out a bunch of those. Why does it want me to shoot T over there? Do you see why? I don't see what it wants. So yeah.
Does anyone in the chat know why it just took off recently? Let us know.
Well, but nobody knows why.
Well, maybe somebody does.
Nobody knows. Look, there was a huge conversation on Twitter about this, and I was retweeting the videos, and I was tweeting at the video creators. One of them is Civvy, one of them is G-Man.
Somebody said Civvy in the chat.
Yeah. I don't think that they coordinated it. Man, I don't... Where do I go? Where do I go? I know there's got to be a place to go. It wants me to shoot a teapot somewhere. I shot a teapot there.
Go up there then.
Well, there's no way to just go up there.
Of course there is. Just jump.
That's too high.
Do a triple jump.
Nah, that's not gonna do it. I feel like I need to put something here. There we go. Let's put a thing on the switch.
Ah.
Oh, I see. It wants me to shoot a whatsy. So anyway, there was quite a bit of discussion as to like what's going on. I don't think anybody really answered that question.
Right.
If I were more cynical, I would almost suggest that like maybe EA.
No.
Oh man. Oh boy. Maybe EA is secretly funding a resurgence in awareness about the IP in order to like market test whether or not they should fund a new one. I don't know. Maybe.
It's kind of, tinfoil hat time with that.
Yeah, well. But it is a very strange thing. So it kind of leads you to wonder, right? Makes you go,
Things that make you go,
I wonder how many in the chat here today, though, are here because of those videos.
I don't know. Let's have a look. Let's ask, for people who haven't been here before.
I'm American.
I'm Martin.
That's Martin. We've been doing...
So yes, are you here because you saw some playthroughs and you thought you'd come and see the creator himself master the game with elite skills and pixel perfect jumping?
Yeah, that's not what you're gonna get here. Not gonna get that here at all. Could be that we have quite a bit of audience from all that.
Maybe I'll keep an eye out.
You keep an eye out. Yeah, it's a strange thing. There was an anniversary recently. I think that Madness Returns had its 10-year anniversary. But one of the things that was really refreshing about these reviews was the fact that pretty universally people seem to think that the games have stood the test of time, especially in terms of graphical presentation. I think it has a lot to do with the fact that the games are, highly stylized. And so stylization, when done right, holds up across time. Whereas, when you try to make something sort of photoreal, gritty, like a Space Marine thing, they don't age very well.
Right.
Photoreal gritty kind of like shows its age relatively quickly as other photoreal gritty games come out and claim the throne.
Right. Yeah, stylized stuff does seem to just age. Stands the
I did that on purpose.
yeah, stands the test of time.
It's not easy being really good and trying to make it look like I'm not. I try to tell everybody that all the time, but
Somebody says, it's scrolled past now. I wish you played the first Alice. We did.
we did. It also
For a
took
bit.
us like a year. A year.
And also showcased the Omri HD texture pack recently.
Yeah, we did.
I say recently, it was probably about like 4 months ago now.
It's been a
something.
while. Yeah, that's something I think that everybody out there who's talking about replaying the original game should know is now, of course, you do probably have to go and sort of do some piratey stuff, which I don't advocate, even though I myself am a pirate. But if you get a copy of the game, there is a texture pack out there that was done by Omri Koresh and a team of other artists and tech guys, and that is an HD texture pack. I don't exactly know where you search for it, but I'm pretty sure if you type in Alice HD texture pack into Google,
Probably.
you'll get it. And they did a really good job of, HDifying. How do you say?
HD.
HD.
Yeah.
They HDified the original game, and it looks really great. It's really beautiful.
Noxy Foxy says it was probably on Nexus mods. That sounds familiar, but maybe it was there and he moved it.
I remember Omri got mad at somebody there and decided that he was going to take his toys and go somewhere else. So you might have to go and look in another location for it.
Yeah.
But again, the main comment was, these reviews are generally positive, and it seems that there's a kind of urge people have these days for single-player narrative-driven action-adventure games, and sort of platforming third-person stuff as well, because it's maybe there's just not enough of that getting made these days.
I think there is. I mean, I see lots of videos about people just saying what you said, single player story driven games are doing gangbusters these days. It's not all about, you know, battle royale microtransactions, but they take a while to make.
They do.
But yeah, it seems to me, I mean, I just usually follow Sony stuff since I've got PlayStation, but it seems to me that they're committed to doing single player stuff.
I think I've made a mistake here, Martin.
Yes. So,
well, I'm just echoing the sentiment that I think I picked up on in some of these videos, that people maybe would like to see more of this type of gameplay. So anyway, that is a large reason why this channel exists and what we've been doing here. We'll get to some of that in a moment after I die. But yeah, we are trying to make a third Alice happen, and that's been something that we've been working on for, I feel like it's been 3 years now. Is that right?
Something like that.
And in that 3 years, we've had a team of artists who, I didn't do it fast enough, did I?
Not.
Man,
Rubbish.
I am rubbish. So anyway, we've got a team of artists and designers and writers, and that's what they've been working on. And that was something I wanted to talk about today, was that we just reached a major milestone this week, in fact, with work on the story. So yeah, we're going to talk about that in a little while. The reason that's important is because, well, obviously story underpins everything that we do with the game and the design, and that's all going into a that's all going into a design bible, and yeah, I'll kind of show off some of that stuff a little bit later in the stream.
There'll be no pixel perfect jumps or strict time limits for platforming.
Well, that's funny. A lot of these playthroughs, people are mentioning some of the same stuff that I mentioned in terms of the enemies or the mechanics that are really annoying. And I was really pleased to see that I'm not the only one who finds the lock-on mechanic in these games, in this game in particular, annoying. The comment that was made in the video that I can't remember if it was Civi or who it was that said it, but it was something along the lines of, the mechanic is annoying because it focuses your third-person camera so severely on the enemy at hand. Oh no, stop it. And so, it can be quite frustrating. This is just a blind leap of faith. I don't know where I'm going. Okay. It can be quite frustrating when you get into really intense combat. And, I've said that a million times, that I'm really not a big fan of the camera. And my big complaint, though, is more about how the lock-on itself functions as an on-off switch, as opposed to like you hold it down and you let it go. Because in the middle of combat, I often just want to let go of the lock-on and just have it. But anyway, those kinds of comments are understood and heard, and we are planning to make good on fixing a lot of that stuff when we make a third game.
For sure, in this day and age, it's the norm now to have, even in console games, a ton of like modifications you can do to suit your play style.
Sure.
You're not just stuck with like a list of 5 things that you want to change.
Yep.
It's getting PC-like.
Yep. That's good. So yeah, I mean, there's that, and then there's, I saw the complaints about some of the enemies being really annoying, in particular like the snark, which are the little fish in the water. And I remember when we were playing through, I mean, I effing hated those guys. I really wanted them to get bent as well. So I understand those comments.
Yeah.
All right, this is getting a bit ridiculous. I'm gonna have to jump over here and drop a bomb, and then make it back to this platform, and then make it across. Oh man.
Bradley asks, why aren't you spending any of your teeth?
Because I'm too busy dying.
There you go.
You don't need teeth when you're dead. Bye-bye.
Never a truer phrase was said.
Okay.
Come on, man.
Did it at least start us in a kind of funny place where we don't have to go through all that again? I feel like it. No, it didn't.
Really paying attention.
It's smarter than that.
What's going on in chat? Wendy J appreciates the fact that you can recognize issues and want to fix them. That's all right, Wendy.
Well, that's what life's all about, right?
Yeah.
I believe.
69 the World wants to know why I never get to play.
You
No,
never asked to play.
Never asked to play. Yeah. So that's it. Maybe one day I could play something. Show off my skills.
Uh-oh.
Playing Spider-Man Miles Morales currently. Just got that for the old PS5. It's great, but it is heartbreakingly short. As we all knew, that's not a surprise. But there is a ton of like fetch quests and challenges you can do as well, so you can get a bit more extra value out of it. It's fine.
Come on. Come on. Come on. What? Oh my god. Is that the whole thing I came up here for was a dumb bottle? Oh man, I feel really cheated. That's not what I wanted to come up here for. I want to get through this. Which way do I go now? Come on. I just don't want to have to go back through all that crap again. Which way is it, Martin?
Just follow your heart.
Okay. It appears that this spade symbol is pointing towards that spade symbol, so I'm guessing it's a sort of subliminal message to let me know that I should be going that way.
The designer of this game must have been a genius.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I need to go to that platform right there. They all seem to be pointing to that platform, but I feel like I've been there before.
Callum Gubb says, use the platforms in the opposite direction.
How about I just die? Just die.
Oh, you can do that as well. Put the bomb on the elevator closest to you. Maybe that one. That one seems pretty close. Oh, jeez, Rick.
How about I just die?
Maybe.
I don't feel like I've got many more deaths left before I have to do like a hard reset. It's not good. Maybe we just take a moment to admire the beauty of this environment.
It's pretty good.
That was something that the YouTubers were talking about, was just the skyboxes in the original Alice even. And that for me certainly is one of the biggest things that I loved about those games, were these blown apart environments. And man, we have a lot more of these planned for Alice Asylum, because that's one of my favorite things ever.
Wendy J again with a blast from the past here. Would love to see Martin play that game that made him destroy the game disc. It was Bloodborne. That was the disc that I snapped in half. I'm not very good with Soulsborne games. I just can't click with them. I prefer a more arcadey style. But yeah, I borrowed, what's it called? Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, which is a Bloodborne, Soulsborne type game. And again, I enjoyed it a little bit, but it just frustrated me. But I couldn't snap the disc on that one because it wasn't mine, so I just had to give it back after I'd put a few hours into it and decided that it wasn't for me. So yeah, can't do them. It's my one weakness.
I'm still poking around inside of Ghosts of Sushi.
All right.
I really quite like that. And like I said before, one of the reasons that I like it is that it helps reaffirm some of the things that we had thought about for how to tell story in Alice Asylum. And since we just, like I said, finished this major chunk of writing for the story, and I can kind of see a game where they've implemented some of the ideas that we've been thinking about. It's very interesting to play that and to see a successful implementation of a narrative driven game with a lot of kind of callback memory stuff going on, because we're going to be doing that. So it's a good game.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
It is a good game. It almost suffers from, open world fatigue.
Right.
Because there's a ton of stuff to do in that game. But it's all just so pleasant that you don't really mind it. And it all kind of fits into the story, so more or less. So, yeah, I didn't mind. But I could feel it coming. I could feel the fatigue creeping on just before I finished it.
Right.
And platinumed it.
Wow, Martin. Was that like, I think that's called a humble brag. Is that right?
Nothing humble about it.
Oh, I see. That was just a brag.
It's just a full-on brag.
Cool.
Yeah, it's not that difficult. You just need to put the time in.
Where is the little thing it wants me to shoot? Because I'm pretty sure... Oh, there it is. Oh, man, that's far away. I'm going to have to start this all over again.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, I'm not actually this terrible. I just play to make myself look terrible, for those of you who've never watched me play before. I could just breeze right through all this.
Where would be the fun in that?
Where would be the fun in that? You know, if I just looked so amazing, I'd make everybody feel bad. And yeah, so nope.
Nope.
I've got to be terrible.
Yay! But you got the trigger.
We did get the trigger. So yeah, all of this kind of YouTube interest and Twitter interest, I'm kind of curious if it's not going to maybe capture some attention from EA. Now, I'm always nervous about that because you never really know how EA will respond to the fact that the public are clamoring for something. They could sort of be positive about it, or they could suddenly be like, nope, get the lawyers, make that stop. And so
You never know.
You never know. Is that giant crazy guy back? He is. I haven't stepped on him yet. I thought we'd stepped on him already. Has that not happened yet?
No, not yet.
No. Oh well. Well, soon. I feel soon enough we'll be stepping on him.
Just saw an ad for Days Gone and literally said, "Oh look, Days Dawn." Remember we used to call it that?
I do remember that.
A bit of a spoonerism.
Where are you seeing an ad for that?
I don't know. Wendy J saw it somewhere.
Oh. Ow.
That's what it's called, isn't it? A spoonerism, when you change the first letters around of a saying.
You know better than I.
Yeah, I think it is. Have you ever seen the speedruns of Alice?
Yes.
Asks Gilepsis.
I have. They're
Can be
pretty
done
cool.
pretty quick, can't it?
It can.
We discussed this. Again, it seems recent, but it was probably like half a year ago, and I can't remember the time. Like 40 minutes or something.
Yeah, people do crazy stuff. I'm always pretty impressed by those things. I'm always also, it kind of makes you depressed when you see stuff like that, just because you put so much effort into, you know, building a thing, and then there's somebody out there who can just make it disappear, right?
Yeah.
You know, there's this phrase in the industry that games are essentially something you'd call asset tourism. You kind of work your way through every asset you move past is some of the budget spent on making the game, right? So when you see people zip past all of that, it's a bit depressing. It's like, why did we spend all that money? Uh-oh. Card Guard Executioners are coming for us.
Alpha 1412 asks again, will young Alice be accompanied by young Chesh? We did have art and concepts for young Chesh.
We did, but I feel like we've kind of abandoned it as a concept in Asylum. I just want to mention again, I hate that stupid backwards camera.
It's poop.
It is poop. I don't know who did that. Speaking of Cheshire, there we go. What's he got to say?
A reflection
Get
sometimes
bent,
exposes
Alice.
more reality than the object it echoes.
What is that supposed to mean? Get out of here, cat.
Just look for a reflection.
Jeez.
Switch ray tracing on. Look for the reflections.
Refraction?
Refractions.
Refractions. Is that like a refraction met a reflection and they had a child? I
Yes.
see. I think we're good for today. We got to sort of a load point, and I hate these puzzles, so...
Last time you did one of these puzzles, you basically just went straight through it without any effort.
Hey! That guy was a knight. Isn't he only supposed to go in, like, little L shapes?
You're not.
Anyway, I've been called a failure, so I'm gonna rage quit.
Okay.
Call me a failure. Alright. That is it for today's playthrough. We should give away a prize. Did you think of a question?
No. But I did think of one that we've asked before that was kind of relevant to, like, what we were talking about, the EA thing, and you never know what they're thinking. I remember in the past I asked them, like, you know, what if in the super worst, ultimate bad, terrible case scenario, they just wouldn't let us do it? Would you be cool with us just doing, like, Oz?
But
or,
I remember
or would
when
you just rage at the universe?
I remember the last time you asked this question, even after the live stream, I made mention that you shouldn't ask that question because it's a depressing thing that we
It's just
don't
chat.
But it's not. It sort of sets up a subliminal notion that we're leaning towards going that direction when in fact we're not.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's just a mental exercise in discussing a topic. Don't
But
take anything from that.
But it's sort of like, so if after this live stream, hypothetically, someone came up to you on the street, mugged you, and poked out one of your eyes so you were blind in your skull for the rest of your life, would you be disappointed?
Maybe.
I mean, my point in asking you not to phrase the questions that way is that we have very specific plans to make Asylum happen. You know that. And so then to cast doubt on it by even suggesting that we entertain the question feels very counterproductive to me.
Well, do you have a question then?
I do. Do you think that after this live stream I should murder Martin?
Somebody
or no?
actually asked, is Nightbot working? Is
I
it
don't know.
working?
Let's go see.
Because, yeah, since that blue screen of death happened before the stream started, it may not have been triggered.
All right. It doesn't look like Nightbot is reading anything right now. So everybody hold on a second. You do need to comment in the chat in order for Nightbot to see you. But Nightbot needs to be alive for Nightbot to see you. And it doesn't look like it's...
To expand the page so we get to see, like, join channel again.
Where is
Go to
it?
dashboard.
All right. So we're not even joined. That's great. Close. Giveaways.
Yeah, we had a blue screen of death a little before the stream started. Because Glasswire wasn't working. You know, tech stuff.
Okay. So Nightbot is working now. So the question was, should I or should I not murder Martin after this live stream? For asking a sucky question that I previously asked him not to ask.
I don't remember what you said like 6 months ago.
Well, I do. Okay. Let Martin stream. No, you got to keep him. Do not murder Martin.
There you go.
Well,
The universe has spoken.
that's really too bad. That would make for like a really funny, kind of one of those murder investigator mystery shows, you know? Like shortly after the live stream, Martin disappeared and everybody suspected American.
Would be. Good.
All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. It is Spartan Supergirl. You have won the... What is it we're giving away? The pig? No, the wolf wearing the pig. This thing, Wolfenswine. You have won a Wolfenswine plush toy. So, in order for you to claim your prize, Spartan Supergirl, you'll need to send an email to support@mysterious.design. Include your name, your mailing address, your phone number. Do all of that in a human-readable, non-frustration-causing format, and do it within 24 hours. And then we will get a Wolfenswine mailed out to you. There you go.
They are ready right now, aren't they? They're in the shop and
They're in the
selling and stuff, right? There's no waiting. Okay.
No, there's no waiting. You just send a note to Tony and bzz, off they go. Now, there is waiting because the whole global logistics system is messed up, but aside from that part, there's no waiting.
Aside from that.
Yes. Good. So, next up, we're going to do some art review. I feel like this window is not where it normally is because I can no longer see the... I can't see stuff. All right. This is an old image, but it came from an era where we were talking about the notion that Bumby could play a role in the game as like the weapons upgrade shop owner. So in this one, you can see the doll maker's hand, and he's handing out like a rage box here as an upgrade. But you can't see his face, but it's obviously like Bumby glasses hiding there in the shadows.
Yeah.
So we had floated this idea, and then I had sort of forgotten that, not that this piece of art existed. I remembered this piece of art, but there was another piece of art that I stumbled on that looked like that. It's that one where he's like Bumby at a sewing machine. Anyway, I stumbled upon it. I don't know where it popped up, but I feel like I'd never seen it before. But anyways, an image by Joey. Again, the notion being that like he runs the shop that Alice goes to get her weapons and her clothing and all this kind of stuff and upgrades. Now, when we had first floated this idea to our insane children over on Patreon, there was a lot of pushback, like a lot of people who just said like, ew, no. But you know, you have to keep in mind that this idea stems from the fact that in Asylum, you're playing as young Alice. That is, you're playing as Alice when she's only 13 years old, and she's also an Alice who you will later discover has been sort of locked away inside of a mental prison, and she's not aware of all of the things that adult Alice has journeyed through, nor is she aware of the revelations about Bumby's role in the death of her family. So the idea that the child could go to approach someone who was viewed as a family friend and perhaps as somebody who had a hobby of making stuff and dolls, and that would be the mental representation of her item shop, it kind of makes sense.
I think so.
But there are people that were bothered by it.
Well, some people just don't like Bumby.
I wonder
For
why.
some reason.
Yeah, I wonder why. So this was one of those images. The other one I just showed was on my Instagram. Now, what was surprising to me was that I sort of told that story. I told the story of this as of him as like a weapons dealer in the game, an item shop. And I also said that our insane children had sort of knocked the idea down. And there was a lot of salt in the comments on Instagram where people were just like, what? No, that's an amazing idea. You know, F those people. So
Right.
I was a bit surprised at the pushback. It's sort of like, I thought it was done and settled, but now having seen the sort of, the feedback, it kind of makes me wonder if maybe we shouldn't find a way to put him in there. And all of this being said, with the understanding that once child Alice does learn the truth, she could go to this shop and stab him in the face, right? So it's not that he's going to get away with it. In fact, in Asylum, we currently have it scripted so that you have a chance to re-kill him. In fact, you'll see his train death once. So that's one time that you'll witness his murder, and you'll boss battle a mental representation of him once. And if we put him in as the shopkeeper, you could kill him again. So
Yeah.
I kind of feel like from a cathartic standpoint, you know, you could say that we could have even more Bumby killing than ever before. That could be like on the box cover, like now with 3 times more Bumby killing.
Maybe. Could be like, you know, in like most, again, like story-driven games, when you've got like a partner or you go into a shop or something, the game won't let you target that person. Like the reticule just disappears or something.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, maybe you can't do that to Bumby until you learn the truth, but then you just, the reticule can be used on him. It doesn't tell you that it can, but it's just something there for if you try.
That's right.
So at the end, you do have a chance.
Yeah. So that was why this piece of art was in the folder. For, you know, it's been around for a while, but it kind of resurfaced, and I thought it was cool. But not this one. This one didn't resurface. I remembered this one. It was the one with Bumby at the sewing machine that kind of popped up and got me thinking about that again.
Quickly, just saw in the chat, a few people have mentioned something like, you know, stream prizes from before have not arrived yet. So if you definitely messaged me, and I definitely replied with thanks for the address or whatever, it's probably coming. But if it's been like anything more than 2 months, then yeah, feel free to write in again and ask, and I can dig out some tracking. 'Cause it may have got lost.
Can do.
Which happens these days.
Global shipping is really busted.
Yeah.
We just put up a discount code with a warning on the mysterious shop to tell people start your Christmas shopping now. By the way, this is true whether or not you're buying from us. You should start Christmas shopping now because we pay attention to the global logistics and shipping news, and it is guaranteed there will be shortages and there will be delays, especially if you're living in the US, that lots of stuff will get sold out and the restocking can't happen fast enough. So if I was you and I was living in the US, I would be doing my Christmas shopping right now. Otherwise, you may not be able to buy Christmas presents.
Yes, you have been warned.
You have been warned. Okay, that's not the right one. There we go. So speaking of the doll maker, those are doll maker hands in the water there. So in the story, we have it that Alice goes to visit the home for wayward children, but obviously she's doing that in a sort of Wonderlandy setting. And this is a kind of catacombs sewer area underneath the home for wayward children that she uses to kind of sneak in from the bottom up. And we've shown off some of the art from what the outside of this looks like before. It's pretty cool. It's like London, but it's all blown apart, and it's buildings, and some of them are floating around upside down, and some are right ways up, and you jump between them, you swim between them, you anti-gravity jump up to the roof of one above you, and then flip around. And I mean, there's going to be a lot of interesting ways to maneuver around, but at some point you get to the area where the home for wayward children is floating on a big chunk, and in order to get into it you have to go in through this sort of subterranean entrance. Oh, wait a second, this is not that. Sorry.
All right.
But this is London, and it is a subterranean entrance, but this is the carpenter sends you on this mission before the walrus shows up and destroys everything. Sorry, because there's two sections of London, and I'm pretty sure that this is the section with the carpenter. Sorry, I got my London section.
It's almost as if the story synopsis is over 80 pages long,
It's pretty.
and there's a lot of stuff happening.
So yeah, this is actually a mission she's sent on by the carpenter. So there are people talking about the dress.
There's one here in the chat right now. Where is it?
Cherry Blossom Love says, that dress is amazing. Where can I
Yes.
get one? That is her chaos dress. I'm pretty sure that's
Moth
the
dress, says Arta Zero.
but he says it with a question mark, Martin.
Oh.
Question mark denotes uncertainty. And in this case, that is an appropriate uncertainty. You can tell by the fact that one leg is purple and one leg is white that she's split in two, and that that is the chaos dress. So if you go to the chaos realm, let's see if I can find Alice appearance. Here we go again. You know old Alex is out there, and he's seeing me struggle around inside of Monday, and he's going, why? What's wrong with you? Stop.
No, Pitchager01. The story synopsis is not 18 pages long. It's 80 pages long.
Yeah, it took me 2 hours to do a full read through of it yesterday. Now look, if Alex is listening right now, I do want to say it's not my fault if in Monday you go and there's a section here. Let's put this up on screen. There's a section that's called, well, I mean, what would you think if you saw Alice appearance and abilities and you click on that, and then it kind of spreads out to these sections, and then you go in here and it's like Alice's dresses, and then you click on Alice's dresses. Are they all in there? Oh, they all are in there. Okay. They weren't loading up before. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. So anyway, in here, in Alice's dresses, there are some files that contain the dress imagery, and I think that they're not all here. That's what oh, here it is. The problem is I can click on this, but it's not necessarily gonna, it does. It says chaos. There you go. So that is the chaos dress, for those of you who want to know.
All right.
Okay. Back to art review. So she's wearing the chaos dress.
Yay, we got there in the end.
Yeah. So that's not what we're supposed to be talking about here. What we're supposed to be talking about are, here's the doll maker's kind of puppet hands. And then if you look in this scene, ooh,
Dun dun dun.
there they are again. Except there's an option. They can be spectral, sort of ghosty hands, or they can be...
You asked that, didn't you?
What was the response?
Shiala Nelson says, personally, I prefer the bony, but Rene Castro Borrego prefers the fleshy. Well, I suppose they're the same, bony, fleshy, not spectral.
Yeah, there's jokes. There's perverted jokes in this, but we're gonna leave them alone.
Craig Louis Barros says bony. Sarah Crackzor, either is cool. So it kind of looks like the bony stitched one is winning over spectral.
Right.
I mean, yeah, they both look cool.
That's good.
Spectral's a great movie, by the way.
I wouldn't know. I don't know if I've seen that before. So anyway, this is a piece of art from Adam. Again, it's an illustration of a gameplay section where she's been told to go and adjust some valves beneath the building by the carpenter, who is worried that the walrus is coming to destroy them all. So yeah, this kind of illustrates one of the gameplay sections in the game. And yeah, we had this choice of whether or not it was spectral hands or fleshy hands. I like the fleshy hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Montrose Chloe asks, what, if any, is the significance of the doll maker's fingernail colors?
I don't believe that they are any color other than like that ruined black. If you look at the
Well, the one on the right, there's kind of redder, and the other one's blacker, but maybe that's just a lighting thing.
I believe that that's just these hands. If you go to look at some of the other ones, I mean, this one doesn't even have black. It's just got like regular old fingernail. It just looks like Bob's fingers. But remember, this is meant to be the doll maker's hands before you realize that he's all icky and evil. If you go to look at the doll maker in some of the other imagery in which he's featured, then you'll see that he's got black fingernails, and oftentimes he has the little doll faces on his fingernails.
Blue Hero 96 may not be aware that the game is a kind of prequel. Says, didn't we already deal with the walrus?
Yes, but we are re-dealing with a lot of the stuff that has never been dealt with before, because the main character of this game is Child Alice. It is a representation of 13-year-old inner child Alice, who has been locked away within Alice's psyche for her own protection, while adult Alice, the one that we all know from the games that we've played, goes and runs through the gauntlet in order to save them from being incarcerated within the asylum. But when you start up this game, it is Child Alice who is locked inside of a mental prison and seeking to get out, and unaware of the fact that while she's been playing inside the circus of the mind, her shadow self has been out taking care of business and making sure they can survive and escape from the asylum and take care of Bumby. So this game manages to be a prequel and a sequel all wrapped in one, plus it also transitions into the final chapter, which if any of you have been following along, there's this notion called Alice Otherlands, in which she's able to invade the minds of others, like to go into the wonderland of another person. And this actually wraps that in there at the ending. I don't want to give away too much, lots of spoilers, but yeah, it is all of those things wrapped in one. So
yep. So it's it's a sequel because it does take place after Madness Returns. Technically, it is in the mind of adult Alice after Madness Returns, but it's a callback to the younger stuff that went on.
It's her inner child.
Yes.
Stuck inside of her mind trying to get out.
Yeah.
I do realize maybe we have a lot of viewers here today who don't realize what it is we're doing or how much work has gone into this. I mean, I have just kind of described the basic premise of the game, but for those of you who don't know, like what you're looking at on screen here right now is a thing called Monday. It's a website we use to organize all the work that we've done on Asylum over the last couple of years. And if you look here on the side, you'll see that these are all of the areas that we've detailed from slumber, which is where you start the game, through denial, anger, bargaining, depression. These are all stages in PTSD. And she's overcoming a lot of these experiences, and she's remembering the things that her adult self has already passed through. And there's a phrase, I don't know if it was Freud that said it, or I can't remember, some famous psychologist that said it, but that is that learning is remembering. In other words, all of us carry around within us all the things that we might ever need to learn, not like about physics and the nature of black holes and crap like that, but at least about personal stuff. And there's this notion that learning about yourself and becoming whole requires remembering things that you already sort of know. So that notion is very much within this game. This is where the game essentially starts off, is this child Alice living within this slumber realm, and she starts to have recollections of the night of the death of her family. I don't think this is going to let me just flip. No, of course not. And this then transitions into, well, the moon chases her. I can't tell you the whole story right now. It's like a lot, but just to get a sense of the breadth of this, if you click on any of these sections here, you will see that artwork comes up that details every scene. And within each of these realms, you can see here there's lots and lots of scenes, right? That basically take care of all of the movement through the game, from the opening moment all the way to the final scene of the game. And all of this is being compiled into a design Bible. And that design Bible, the goal with that is essentially to give you the same feeling you would have to play the game, but on paper. Because we don't have permission from EA right now to make the game, but we can make a design document for the game and make it as detailed and amazing and beautiful as possible.
And it will be.
Yeah. And so that's what we're doing. We're basically making like a giant graphic novel game design document. And it's turning out amazing. Like I was telling Martin the other day, or yesterday, or today, whatever day it was, I was telling Martin that I read the most recent blob of story ending that Alex, who I'm co-writing this with, came up with, and the way that it wraps up, I had like goosebumps, bigger than I've ever had before in my life. I love the way that this story has played out, and I really love the ending. And I think that anybody who's played the first and the second game and who gets like what this is all about, when they play this, they will also love it. Like I feel like we've been given the time and the space to write something that's really amazing, and it has turned out really amazing. So yeah, that's what we're doing here.
We're not going to say the ending today, are we? Or we're going to say spoilers before we do?
We might talk about it. we might talk about it a little bit, but we will yell spoilers before we get into any of the details on that stuff.
Keep thinking that we need a spoiler button. So we
Maybe.
can have it up on the screen and then take it down when we've stopped talking about it.
Can be.
So we just keep forgetting to do it.
Yeah, well, we're not there yet. So I'm pretty sure this was shown off before. This is Alice going to battle against Bill the Lizard, but he's using the power of the brain that you can see floating there. It's one of like the magical items that she has to collect, but she can't just go and collect it. She has to fight to retrieve them from the people who've hijacked them and using them for their own nefarious purposes. So in this instance, lowly little Bill the Lizard is using the brain in order to manifest like this crazy snake kingdom in which he's the ultimate overlord master. And then when Alice goes to confront him to retrieve the brain, he uses it to create like horrible illusions of monsters that she has to fight.
I can see.
Yeah, so that's a pretty cool scene. I feel like we showed that off before though.
We have shown this one before.
All right. And then this one is Umbra Land having taken over the dollhouse domain. So this happens really late in the game. Once you've finally caught up with Shadow Alice, or she's caught up with you, and young, hey, hello, I'm just a tiny little, don't mind me down here.
She's wearing,
you
is
know,
that a new dress?
I don't think that's a new dress. I'm pretty certain
A harvest dress,
that
but
ought
with...
to be Shadow Alice.
Right.
It ought to be Shadow Alice. But it's weird because she's carrying a little light, and that seems really out of character for her. Who's that dude? Hello.
Jeffrey. Just having a swing.
Yeah.
For new people who've just joined us, give us a quick bullet point of exactly what Umbra Land is.
Yeah,
'Cause they might not know.
So the entirety of Alice's adventure up to sort of 2/3 of the way through the game, you will discover has been encapsulated within what we call a snow globe reality. And that was where she's been kept for her own protection. The inner child has been kept for her own protection. Once she breaks free of that, she gets out into Wonderland proper, because the snow globe is in Wonderland and she's in the snow globe. Once she gets out of the snow globe, this is what she emerges into. It's this completely effed up, super dark Wonderland, which has been taken over by Alice's shadow self. And so basically, like, if Morrissey and Depeche Mode and The Cure and like Sisters of Mercy all got together and were like, this is our Wonderland now, then that's what it would turn into. And so Child Alice is her goal, obviously, is to kind of help Wonderland not become just pure shadow. And all of this is predicated by the fact that Alice, if you saw in Madness Returns, she shoves Bumby in front of a train. Well, in the act of murdering Bumby, she basically becomes infected by the same murderous intent that he was filled with, right? So Child Alice is the last hope to save real Wonderland from being completely consumed by the shadow. And this is the kind of stuff they have to travel through in order to get to the end of the journey where that confrontation takes place. So you will revisit a lot of the locations that you saw from the first two games, but you'll revisit them in this styling. Now, you're not going to play through both games in their entirety, but we've picked out some key scenes that we think are really interesting. And this is an image that Omri did. This is the Dollhouse domain, but obviously it's been taken over by the shadow.
Yep.
I like this one because it's got this sort of black hole thing that's sucking all the color out of the scene.
Yeah. It's pretty good. I like that. So there you go. All you new ones, you should be all caught up now as to why shit be exploded and chaos.
Maybe. It's pretty complicated. So this is the Mysterious East. Again, a section from Madness Returns. And again, this is something you'll see at the very end of Asylum where, you know, this is the Umbra Land version of the Mysterious East. So a lot of the places that you enjoyed from Madness Returns, again, will come back, but they'll be in this Dark Wonderland variation. Now, this probably doesn't take up a huge portion of the game. The majority of the game is going to be played within the Snow Globe, which is within the child's kind of twisted version of Wonderland. But we are going to leave some space at the end for kind of a quick romp through this Umbra Land-ified version of Wonderland. So this would be the Infernal Train, but again, in the Umbra Land filter. And that place was already pretty freaking dark. So you know, what can you do to make a black hole blacker? Well, this is sort of what that would be.
Can't. It's none more black.
This is maybe still is my desktop background. I love this.
It's a good one.
And this again is where I was sort of talking about this notion that we're going to do some scenes in London where there's an upside down, sort of like what you saw in Inception, but we're going to allow for the player to jump back and forth between these different pieces. So you'd be able to go to a rooftop here and jump up and then flip around and land on a rooftop there, and sort of do upside down London Inception, jump up, run around nonsense.
Yeah. Should be greatly vomit inducing if me playing Gravity Rush that time
It'll be fine.
was any indicator.
I'm trying to see if there's any like little Martins or little Alices hiding in the
Omri will be in
details.
there somewhere. It'll be in one of the windows, like flipping us off.
Really? You think so? Like
Probably.
in an upside down window? Just like,
Yeah.
hey, get bent, governor. I don't know. I don't see anybody. I'm sort of disappointed, Omri. I always expect there to be a little Easter egg hiding in a window somewhere, giving us the finger or taking a selfie or something.
Just need to look harder.
I don't think he did it this time. She's probably like in that doorway right there in the shadows flipping us off and we just can't see her, so.
Yeah.
Right. Any...
Let's see. Well, Alpha 1412 has to go. So goodbye. Thank you for joining us. Greg Hunter, clearly new. When is Asylum being made? Well, we're trying, Greg. We're trying. We're doing biz dev right now.
When we get finished with art review here, we're going to do a little bit of biz dev review, and I will give everybody an update on what's going on with our efforts to get the game made. And there are some positive developments, so let's get through art review and we will answer that question.
Yeah.
This piece of art is from Omri. Now, this is a representation of this notion that she goes into a section we call the memory mines, and she starts to work her way up through the mines. This is representative of Alice's psyche, where she processes experience and then it turns into creativity. It blossoms out the top of this imagination tree in the Vale of Tears, but she has to start at the bottom and work her way up. And along the way, what did you see?
This, that.
Along-
Very descriptive.
Along the way, she will encounter scenes like this, and you can see her here trying to make her way up through. This is a clogged up memory. So there's all these little items, like little bits of refuse of memories, and like gooey-eyed doll faces.
Ugh.
You know.
Is there a
normal.
photo frame with Gary Busey in it anywhere?
I don't know, but look, there's like a whole relief with people hanging around with lambs in a veil. What's going on there? Anyway, uh-oh. This doll's creeping me out. Just straight up staring at us. What are you guys doing? Why am I here?
Kill me.
So anyway, this is a scene from the memory mines. This is a memory that she has to enter into, and then she goes in there and she has to deal with what's contained inside in order to free this memory and unclog it so it can move up into the tree and be processed and all kinds of crazy stuff like that. So
Yep.
uh,
dear
this is the final version of the Infernal Train. I think what we looked
Okay.
at before was the early draft version, so this is the final version of the Infernal Train. It's pretty beautiful. I like this.
It's nice.
Yeah, this is a good one. All this art, by the way, is up over on Patreon, and all of the posts over there unlock for free after 3 days, so you don't even have to support us in order to enjoy the art, but we would really appreciate it if you did, because the support we get on Patreon keeps us able to pay the artists that are doing all of this work, so
True dat.
something to think about. I think that's it.
Is that it?
I mean, we talked about this already. This was Joey. She did a obviously blown apart. This has got to go. I don't think this is Victorian. Doesn't
Right.
it? Who's that? Hello. It's actually got a little bit of like of a frown. What's that car doing out there? This is out of time, out of place.
Is it out of place?
I don't think that they had car looking things like that in the Victorian era.
I don't know when they got made. Is this building Drink Me and Sons? Is that what the building's called?
It's called Drink Me and Sos.
Drink Me and So's.
SOS. I guess so. Yeah. It's a little weird. So there's some funny stuff going on in this image that's out of place. I feel like the little car is definitely one of them. This reminds me of that Dastardly Dog, like the car race cartoon. I don't know anybody else watched that. If you're an American kid and you grew up, and you probably did,
Wacky
Penelope,
Racers.
yeah, Penelope and Wacky. It feels like that.
Yeah, Wacky Racers is pretty big. I think lots of people know it.
Hmm.
We made the Wacky Racers video game. That's an old company I was at.
Wow.
Yeah, like kart racing games. Pretty good.
Very cool. Okay, so this is another piece of art from Joey. This is again London. This is obviously underwater. I don't know if we're gonna have a swimming sequence in the game, but if we did, it seems that Joey sort of thought about turning Alice into a mermaid again. So
Yeah.
I don't really want to do a swimming sequence. I feel like we never get those right. But,
Or just flip it on its head. Have her as a mermaid, but fish on top, legs on bottom.
we did that in Madness Returns. If you go into the undersea village thing, there are fish-headed people with legs. So been there, done that, Martin.
Okay.
All right. Okay, that's it. We got through art review. So yeah, lots of great art. Some new stuff, some old stuff, and we explained some of what's going on with Asylum. There's times where there's more art, but that was enough art for today.
It was a reasonable amount.
Let's give away a prize.
Okay.
And then we can jump to all the other topics because we have a lot to talk about today. We're gonna do the premiere of the Scruffy Bumps.
What a premiere it is.
Let's do it.
It's pretty great. I like it.
It is pretty cool. Okay, what's the question?
Do you... no, so earlier we were talking about, story stuff and whatever, and we said we may broach the actual ending of the game. Clearly, you're here because you want to know about the development and the story and what's going on.
This is a good question.
Is that too far? Even if we give a warning, do you wish that we do not tell you the ending of the game?
So just to be, because you've made this very confusing.
They know what it is.
But it's so confusing. Are they supposed to answer yes or no? I don't even know which way.
1 to 10.
Oh Jesus.
No, the question is,
Yes
even
or
if we give a
no?
warning, should we tell the end of the game? Yes or no?
Yeah. Don't tell. No, just a spoiler tag. Love you guys. That doesn't help us. Just put a spoiler tag. Don't spoil.
I
yes.
want to know. Warn and tell.
I
with
desperately want to hear
warning.
the endings that I can provide. Yeah, so Greg, Octo Chicken, don't worry. There's a document on the way that is, like Martin said, 80 something pages of all of the story. We are going to be cleaning that up, PDF-ifying it, and sticking it up on Patreon, and you will have a chance to read through the whole giant mess and then comment on, provide your feedback and comment on what you think about it. So that's coming very soon. It's taken us, I guess, a little longer than we thought to really work through the story, but I'm really happy with the result. And
What
I
a
think
story.
you will be too. So
It seems kind of 50-50-ish. I'm not
Yeah.
sure if we should. Even
Alright.
with like spoiler tags and
Spoil
whatever.
it.
People might just type it.
Right.
So maybe we shouldn't
I think
do it.
I think maybe we leave it alone. Let's leave it alone.
All right.
We won't announce it today. I will talk about the story stuff in a minute here, though. But let's go ahead and ask Nightbot who wins, and it is Whim in Wonder. Congratulations, Whim in Wonder. You have just won yourself a. Where is it? I don't like where
It's
the.
behind you.
You've won yourself this, a Wolfenswine. There is a Wolfenswine here. So the pictures on the web are wrong, because we got all this feedback from people that the snout was too big,
Yeah, that's much better.
and we did in fact adjust the snout. God, where's the frickin'? It's not go.
Oh,
I'm on
jeez,
the wrong
Rick.
screen. There we go. So this is what Wolfenswine looks like now. The little snout got kind of shortened. The original drawing and the original sample that came back in, which is what you see on the website, so that's wrong. That's false advertising. He's got a much bigger snout, and in this one he's got a smaller snout.
It's a much better snout.
It's a better snout. Arr.
Does that pig head peel all the way back like
No,
it does on
I don't think
Hammerball?
it does. No.
No? Okay.
There is a companion to this thing, which is the opposite. It's called Hammerball Lecter, and Hammerball Lecter is does it show up here? Yeah, there it is. Hammerball Lecter is basically the revenge of this thing.
Yes.
There you go. There's Hammerball Lecter, which is a pig wearing a wolf.
Yeah. So
What are we doing?
what are we doing?
Anyway, Women Wonder, you've won one of those, but you've not responded, so maybe you don't even know that you've won.
Yes,
but
women wonder.
Congratulations, Women Wonder. You need to send an email. Did you already do this part?
You did it.
No.
Or at least you started.
Send an email to support@mysterious.design. Include your name, your mailing address, your phone number. Do all that within 24 hours, and do it in a format that does not frustrate or anger us. And there you go.
Or you'll get some of that.
Yeah. Okay. What's next? We're gonna do the premiere. Okay.
Ah!
So
Can
a
we
lot
hear
of-
it? If we does it play through the headphones?
Yeah, I think it does. So a lot of you know that we've been working on this thing called Scruffy Bumps. We've got the skulls, the Scruffy Bumps skull coming. Basically, the notion of Scruffy Bumps is that, like those videos you see online of the guy kicking the dog in the elevator, or the woman violently yanking the dog or cat on a leash, and then you think like, F that guy, I hope that he gets hit by a bus. Well, Scruffy Bumps drives the bus. So basically the idea is that Scruffy Bumps is this revenge murder cat that kills people who abuse animals. And we are making a plush toy. You can
Hiding
see,
in the shadows, right
you can
behind
see
us.
the Scruffy Bumps hiding in the shadows. We're also making these skulls, these little palm skulls, and there's a whole lore that we're working on, like a whole story about this murder revenge cat. But
They come with a certificate.
they do come with a certificate.
Has a bit of the story on.
It
And
has the story. You can't see it. That's why I was gonna. But we've had a team of two guys. That's Tom and Ben Resnick. that first there was a song done by Tom. You can go listen to that on my YouTube channel. But then he brought his brother Ben on board to do an animation to go with the song. So what we're going to look at today, right now, this is the world premiere, but it's a work in progress. So keep in mind, there's still some work to be done. But this is the animation that goes with the song for Scruffy Bumps. Are you ready?
I am now.
World premiere time. Here we go. In 3, 2. Do you think it's playing music?
The world is full of friends with fur
Can't hear
who
it.
fill our lives
See the thing
with
going, though.
wolves and purrs, who seek our love and pets and snacks. And if you're cruel, they won't fight back. Well, if you harm your dog or cat, well, Scruffy Bumps does not like that. He moves about through darkened places, learning names and hunting faces.
Scruffy Bumps loves all his friends, and Scruffy Bumps will take revenge, and Scruffy Bumps knows where you are, and Scruffy Bumps is never far away.
Let's let it play one more time, because I think the volume was really
Get
low.
your
the first
Scruffy
pass.
Bumps
So,
at mysterious.
I don't know if it's gonna auto-play.
well, we'll switch away and then back again. All right, let's do that one more time. Oh, there it goes.
The world is full of friends with fur who fill our lives with woofs and purrs, who seek our love and pets and snacks. And if you're cruel, they won't fight back. Well, if you harm your dog or cat, well, Scruffy Bumps does not like that. He moves about through darkened places, learning names and hunting faces.
Scruffy Bumps loves all his friends, and Scruffy Bumps will take revenge, and Scruffy Bumps knows where you are, and Scruffy Bumps is never far away.
Get your Scruffy Bumps at mysterious.americanmcgee.com.
All right, that is it. That was the world premiere of the Scruffy Bumps trailer, or not trailer. I guess, what do you call that? It's a theme song,
teaser?
animation.
Who knows what they call it?
So yeah, that's great. Tom and his brother Ben did a fantastic knock it out of the park job. So yeah, there's going to be a little more work done on that, and then it's going to be complete, and we'll put it up on YouTube. And the Scruffy Bumps plush toy, like that's one of the prototypes you see there. And here's another prototype here. This is coming soon. Like I said, we're kind of struggling through just getting it right about like the weights in the hands and the way that the embroidery on the face and stuff like that works. But it is on the way, and will be added to Mysterious relatively soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, the video gets the point across. Scruffy Bumps isn't kind of slitting your throat himself, but he causes a like Final Destination-esque series of events to occur.
That's
which makes you have an accident.
That's exactly right. So there is a lot of like story stuff being done. We're working on backstory. There is a link. If you follow the clues, there's a link to this ancient Egyptian goddess called Sekhmet. And it's her spirit that's animating the corpse of Scruffy Bumps. And I want to dive into like an Egyptian death cult that's trying to bring about the end of the world, and how Scruffy Bumps kind of plays into that. But maybe that Scruffy Bumps himself, the original spirit of the cat, isn't really on board with like murder killing everybody. And I think that there's maybe a lesson or a story to be explored here about the notion of like an eye for an eye and everyone goes blind, right? That, we all instinctively, when we see animals being abused, we'd like that person to get hit by a bus. But there's a way that, like, if you set in motion a system for punishing people, eventually even the smallest crimes become punishable by death, and therefore maybe we shouldn't do that. And that's kind of what I want to explore with the story. So we'll see where that goes.
We'll see. It's quite interesting.
Yeah, there's going to be like an underground dark web portal for collecting information about the murders that people suspect are being committed by Scruffy Bumps. And when you get the cat, we're going to put an NFC tag in the back of the cat. Sort of like when you have a pet dog or cat and they've got the little tracking tag, not tracking, but like the little info tag back there.
Yeah.
Scruffy Bumps will come with an NFC tag. That NFC tag is going to open the door to the the dark web portal for collecting and sharing information about the murders. So there's kind of like a alternate reality thing going on inside of this.
ARG of sorts.
Yeah, exactly.
As the kids say.
So it's coming along. This is turning out to be quite fun, and I love that trailer so much.
It's good.
Okay, I can't see the menu.
What
buttons.
changed? Did the microphone come closer?
Feels like the microphone is closer. Feels like something's wrong to me, so I'm not happy
Wasn't
about
me.
that.
I haven't been here for a month.
I don't believe you. Okay, I want to show off quick an announcement that there is a company that has just gone public and raised money that we're going to do something with, but I can't say exactly what yet. That is called Spores. So if you care about this kind of thing, you can go dig into it a little bit, but what they're doing is an NFT marketplace, and you could imagine that, like with all the plush toys we're making and the artwork and the animations and stuff like that, there could be an opportunity here for us to do something interesting. And so yeah, these guys have just launched, just raised money, and they're building out a platform where art and things like plush toys can be traded as NFTs. So we will be bringing up more news about this pretty soon, but that's a pretty cool little side that I wanted to touch on very quickly.
Very modern.
Very, very modern. So we talked about Scruffy Bumps. Now, the next thing is, this is the deck for the studio.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there were some questions earlier about what is happening with getting an Alice game made. For those of you that have been following along, you know we've put together a pitch deck, and we also put together something around a concept called Oz Adventures, and we've been talking to a large Chinese publisher who we've referred to as Redacted. We also announced a deal with Radar Pictures in Hollywood to make this into a film/TV series. And you know that we've been doing all this work on the design Bible for Alice Asylum. Well, a lot of these pieces are now coming together behind the scenes. And we've brought on board a financial advisor / CFO who has packaged up everything that I just mentioned, and they're now taking that out to one of the globe's largest investors, private investors. That company is talking about helping us to build out what you probably best describe as a transmedia studio, and that has now attracted the interest of the largest game publisher in the world, which also happens to be Chinese, which I mean, at this point, I think if anybody's paying attention and you know the landscape, you probably know the names. But the point of all this is that all the effort we've been putting into building all this out is gaining momentum these days. We just had China Joy pass here in Shanghai, in China. During China Joy, there were meetings with all of the redacteds, and meanwhile, there were meetings going on in the US with these potential investors and the Hollywood types, and so things are happening. I can't say more than that.
That's par for the course, though. We just, every time we're saying to everyone, stuff's happening, but we can't tell you. But you're going to believe us.
But more stuff is happening now than ever before. So yeah, there's a sort of portfolio presentation that's been put together. I really hate this. I'm not happy about this situation. So like there's new presentations that have been put together that are now being put in front of all these potential partners, and we're getting a lot more traction. And I feel like we're right on the verge of some pretty big stuff happening. So stay tuned. If you've been along for the ride so far, I know that it's taken us some time to get here, but I do want everybody to know we finally have a lot of really good pieces in place, and I feel pretty confident that in the next couple months, we're likely to see, let's just say we're going to see resolution. The resolution, I think, will probably head towards the place we all want to go. Like funding will come in and projects can start, and we're all going to be really happy. But, maybe the resolution isn't really good, but I don't think it's heading that way. So,
well, Touch wood,
Yes.
for goodness.
So that's the update I wanted to share with regards to business development on Alice Asylum and Mysterious Studios and all the crazy stuff that's going on there. And again, it's all really positive. And if you paid attention when that last slide was on screen, you probably could. Yeah, we'll see. Did I miss anything?
Probably not.
I think I
mean,
covered all the updates.
covered what you could.
Yeah, and I apologize for not being able to put names to stuff sometimes, but it is we have to keep some of this stuff, under wraps until it's the right time. So yeah.
No Montrose Chloe. It won't be Unreal Engine 5. We're going to use the Quake engine.
Oh, I thought we were going to use the Doom 2 engine.
One of them.
Yeah, I think that's old school retro style for everything we do from now on.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've always talked about using Unreal. We like Unreal. There's a lot more we can do with Unreal than just make the game. It also allows us to do stuff like digital set pieces and digital studios. So this thing we're doing right now, which is crowd design, crowd developing of a game and all the merchandise, I want to continue this, but I want it to be even bigger. And when you look at the presentations that we're putting together right now, a lot of emphasis is placed on the notion that as a transmedia studio, we're going to be making games, but the assets we make from the games could be used in film and television, but it could also be used in a studio like this, where we, Martin and I, would be sitting in a set that is made up of Wonderland, and we could be reviewing assets with you in a virtual space, in an alternate reality or augmented reality space. So Unreal allows that. So, if you've watched The Mandalorian, the background set pieces you see in The Mandalorian, those are generated in Unreal, and they're blown up on a giant LCD high-res display screen so that the actors can be in the space. That's the kind of stuff that we want to get involved with, where the game assets that we create are going into a game, but they're also going into a TV show, and they're also going into a live stream set, and we're all getting to interact with them and turn them into toys. And so, yeah, that's what we're trying.
Connecting.
That's what we're trying to build. Okay, so that's Alice Asylum. That's all of the business development stuff that we've been doing and all of our redacted business. So that's all good.
Yeah.
What else were we going to talk about today? We talked about the NFT stuff. That's all good.
Mm-hmm. Plushies.
We do have some plushie stuff to talk about. Why don't we just touch really quick though on this? So we were saying before about all of the we're gonna have to fix this after the live stream. So we were talking before about all the progress that's been made on the story. Like I said, we are gonna share this up on Patreon, but I think Alex and I still probably have a week or two of just sort of like general cleanup. A lot of what I'm scrolling past right now has already been cleaned up, so most of the cleanup work we need to do is towards the tail end of this. But this is the story / gameplay outline for Asylum. And like I said, if you start at the top of this and you read through at a casual pace, it's probably about a 2-hour read. There's a lot going on in here. It's pretty dense, and it basically takes you on the crazy journey that we've talked about before. So I know that a lot of you have been waiting anxiously, like Greg and others over on Patreon have been waiting for the new drop of the narrative stuff. And to be honest, we struggled through some of this, like Alex and I, just trying to figure out where it was going to go, what was the story we were trying to tell, and then trying to tie all the pieces together. But we're done. Like, we're effectively done. So
got there.
That's really good. And like I mentioned before, Alex delivered, and I showed it to you this morning. It's really only a few paragraphs, but it's the ending. It's the bow on top of the adventure once she's escaped from the mental prison, and once she's dealt with Radcliffe, who we will find out was complicit in the evil, nefarious business that Bumby was involved with. Alex put in this brilliant cap for what adult Alice, now integrated with the child in the shadow and now able to jump into the Otherlands, the minds of other characters, what she does next. And I tell you, even just saying it right now, I'm getting goosebumps because I
don't tell them the bit about the aliens.
Shh. So so it's good. So this is done. The story outline is done. Why isn't that loading? That's weird. And you can see this is, got a little bit of illustrations and stuff in it. There is a design Bible being done. I don't think we have a design Bible pulled up here, but if you want to see it, go over to Patreon. You can do a search there. You can check it out. And the design Bible is basically like what you see here, but it's done in a gorgeous book format. Like if you saw the books of The Art of Alice Madness Returns, imagine that, but filled with the game design of the new game. That's basically what we did. So
It's going to be awesome.
it's going to be pretty freaking awesome. So yeah, that gives everybody, I think, the update on the story stuff.
I think so.
Okay,
Don't
cool.
scroll too far.
I'm not going to scroll too far. There's the re-encounter with Bumby.
Dum dum dum.
Dun dun dun. All right.
Yeah.
Any comments that we should know about?
Well, apparently Alex is in the chat somewhere.
Yay. Welcome, Alex. We were just saying good things about you because
Yeah.
I knew you were there, but when you're not here, we only say bad things about you.
MZ is excited but refuses to read this, so doesn't want to be spoiled.
That's fine.
That's fine.
That's totally fine.
Yes, this will be up on YouTube, but probably we will upload it. Maybe not just leave it as the streamed version. The upload is a better quality.
Right.
So, yeah, probably.
Sunshine Lindsay says, is there new dresses and weapons for Alice? Yes, there are new dresses and weapons for Alice. Again,
It
if
was
you
some
go
of the first things that got done.
if you go over to Patreon, you will find a giant library of new dresses and weapons. You just need to go there and search through the old posts. Basically, the whole outline for the entire game and everything contained within it. The story, the enemies, the weapons, the dresses, the locations, you name it. It's all up there. So go and have a look. And very soon, this document and then the full-blown design Bible will be up there. And like I said, the design Bible will allow you to essentially play through the entire game of Alice Asylum, but on a printed page as opposed to on a game console. And it's my belief that once that document is done and once EA sees that, their heads will explode and we'll be on our way to getting the game made. Yeah. Time for a question and a prize.
Well, Shorty's in the house has asked this a few times now, so let's just say that probably no, there isn't going to be a Halloween rabbit.
There is. It's just
Is
not
there?
a rabbit.
What is it?
I think she knows this already. The Halloween special. God damn it. This freaking camera. The Halloween special. He doesn't have the glasses. The Halloween special plush toy is Toto with the bat wings. So that's Toto from Wizard of Oz, but he's been sort of flying monkeyified. And then he comes with a bag that Yin did that itself has got like a pumpkin face on it, and it's got little bat wings on it. So that's the Halloween special plush toy, and it's gonna come out this month. It'll be in the Mysterious Shop. So yes, Shorty, there is a Halloween themed thing on the way.
Yep. Cool. So yeah, question time.
What's the question?
Don't know what we were just talking about. What could we lead into?
What is the next question? I don't know. We could ask them to ask the question.
Could ask them to ask the question.
The main goal here is you just got to say something in the chat so Nightbot can see you. So
We do.
mm.
We also have to big up this.
Yes,
I
we're going to do
suppose,
that.
at some point.
We're going to do that right now.
A question. Think, man. Think.
Well, I guess
Something to do with the Olympics.
you
I don't know.
You've just seen the whole thing of this. I would be curious, especially from those of you who are just joining our live stream for the first time today, on a scale of 1 to 10, how are you feeling about the Alice Asylum presentation in general? So there you go.
Okay.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how are you feeling about the Alice Asylum presentation? Just punch that into the chat there. Nightbot will see you, and then we can use that to decide who wins the next prize.
Yeah.
While we're doing that, let's jump in really quickly here. We do have a sponsor for today. That is Simon Boswell, composer extraordinaire of music for primarily horror films, I believe, is going to be playing a live show in London in December of this year, Saturday the 11th. That's just 2 days before my birthday.
Ooh.
Wow. And Simon will be there with Goblin, which if you've ever watched like the old movie Suspiria or some of these kind of old creepy horror films from the 70s, oftentimes scored by Goblin. And so they will be playing alongside with Simon. And so if you want to go to see Simon Boswell, you would want to go and just Google search this, because I have a thing where you can go to buy tickets, but I don't really know how to show it on screen. But I think you know how to use Google. So what you do is you search for like Night of Horror Music Legends at the Earth Theatre with the E in the wrong place because it's British. And yeah, you'll be able to find it. So it's Earth Theatre in London on December 11th, and they will be playing music to scare your pants off.
There you go.
Oh, there's the web address right there. Oh no, that's the poster.
Enhance.
No.
Zoom.
That's not. That's the poster design. It's kind of weird. It seems like you'd put the web address for the theater on here, but instead the poster designer put his own web address on there. That's kind of cheeky, isn't it?
A little bit.
That's a bit cheeky. Maybe I don't know. Anyway, there you go. That's our sponsor.
Woo!
Woo! So,
We got lots of 10s. We got at least one den. Some was in the thousands. But yes, it seemed very positive.
Well,
But did we expect otherwise?
You never know. You know, maybe we're just disappointing. Stop throwing shade at the British. No, I'm an American. That's like in our blood. That's why we're Americans. We started off just throwing shade at the British and we never stopped. So
Yeah.
all right, let's roll it. It is CBD_Raiden63. Congratulations. You've just won yourself a Plushie Dreadful
Wolfenswine.
There you go. You want a Wolfenswine. So what you need to do is send an email to support@mysterious.design, and you need to include your name, your mailing address, your... what else? I forgot.
Name, mailing address, telephone number, what you won. Do it within 24 hours or get bent.
Or get bent. There you go. CDB Raiden says, thanks. You're welcome.
Wow, thanks.
Wow, thanks. You are welcome. Okay, it is the last half hour. We still have one prize to give away, but I think we're in the section where we're going to...
I've got a question.
Uh-oh.
No, I'm saving it, of course. But
Oh, you mean for later? Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't just going to ask you now, like, where babies come from or
I thought,
something.
the way you said it, I thought it was going to be like, can I go to the bathroom?
Sir.
Can I go to the bathroom, please? Okay.
I'm good. It's a good question. You're going to like it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So let's do the questions from our patrons, because you have those printed out there. I think we've covered everything else. For some reason I feel like
show these guys off.
Oh yeah, we're supposed to talk about the new plush toys. Okay, let's do all that kind of at the same time. God damn, the microphone is in the way. I can't.
I think the thing is, this isn't usually this
No,
big
it's
and
not.
snapped. It's usually
Terrible.
floating
All
over
your
here.
fault. You set it up.
Yep, it's all your fault.
Okay. This is a rabbit called... See, this is the problem. I think this is supposed to be called
Envy, isn't
Envy,
it?
but I think it's also Jealousy. And I don't know which is a better name for it. Because, like, if I buy a rabbit, do I want it to be Envy or do I want it to be Jealousy? Anyway, we've done a bunch of plush toys on emotions. I'm trying to see if there's one floating around here. We've done like love.
Anxiety is right over
Oh,
there.
yeah, anxiety is hiding right there.
Next to Scruffy Bumps.
You would be anxious too if you had to sit next to him. He's a freaking murder killer. So anyway, this one is based on the notion of jealousy / envy. And that's why he's kind of a greenish teal color. But then he's got two faces, because that's what I guess happens when you're jealous or envious of people. So the normal face that he presents is this. It's like, oh, hi, I'm cute, everything's fine, you're my friend, everything's fine. But the truth is,
Dun dun dun.
dun dun dun, I hate you. I'm super jealous and envious of you. So anyway, that is Envy. And Envy has a bag, but it's not here. So anyway, whatever. Okay. And then the other one, which I know a lot of people have been waiting for, is Ouchie. Ouchie's obviously been in a few accidents.
More than a few.
So Ouchie's got bandaged up leg, bandaged arm.
Lost an
Ouchie's
eye.
Lost an eye.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, geez, Rick. And has kind of got a broken heart as well. So, I mean, Ouchie's seen better days. But yeah, people ask for Ouchie.
Yeah.
I don't know, and it was Jennifer's husband who came up with the name Ouchie. So every time I say Ouchie as a name, it makes me laugh. So Ouchie is done and Ouchie is on the way. So that's happening and that's good. And then I think a lot of people probably saw that we're doing this. We don't have the sample here in hand, but we're doing an OCD rabbit. So this one has got a zipper in the back where we're going to have a little brain and the brain is going to be filled with like a crinkly material, and it's supposed to represent sort of uncontrollable thoughts. And then he's obviously got some numbers here that are going to be stitched onto the hands. Those are representative of impulsive counting. And then he's got fur that's been wiped off from excessive cleaning. And scratch marks from excessive cleaning. Those are going to be stitched red. And he's obviously really tired because he can't sleep. So OCD is on the way. You know, this one, it's really, you know, when we deal with the topic of mental health, we get comments from people who want to tell us that we're not allowed to make these toys, but at the same time, they want to normalize their mental health issues. And it's difficult trying to explain to them that we can't make people aware of these things if we can't make people aware of these things, you know, like
Tricky.
So yeah, there's some comments over there on Instagram where people are kind of getting bent out of shape, but we try really hard to include everyone's feedback and to make sure these things are as complete and inclusive as possible. But anyway, we should have a sample of this coming pretty soon. I like this one a lot because I have OCD. That's why I'm such a jerk.
I know.
Yeah, you know.
CDB Raiden, it's been answered, but yes, it's not designs at the end of the email. It's design. So get it right.
Or else.
Yeah.
Okay, you've got questions. Let's do questions. Now we've done the plushies, we can do the questions.
Well, let's go to the Spectral Hands post. There's not many more to go on this, but Rugner's Custom Creations suggested that the hands could alternate between fleshy and ghostly. When ghostly, they cannot be hit by an attack. When fleshy, they can.
That's a good
It's
idea.
not a bad idea. Quite like that one.
That is a good idea.
Rugner and your creations.
Everything's loading very slowly, by the way.
But touch wood, the stream seems okay.
Yeah.
So
All right, so this is the post that we're reading comments from right now over on Patreon.
guess. Well, I'm
Spectral
almost
hands.
done.
Okay, cool.
In fact, this person might even be in the chat. Rai Sora asking, are we going to get a younger voice actress for Child Alice? Or use the original?
Yeah, we've talked about this before, but I think what we're going to do is talk to Susie and ask her whether or not she feels she can pull off Child Alice. If not, there's an opportunity for Susie Braun. By the way, that's the original voice, the VO actress for the first and second game. She's still active. She's a UK-based voice actress.
As all the best ones are, with
I
that
think-
clear Queen's English.
I think she does hand acting as well. Like, she's a hand model, if I remember correctly. But anyway, we will, I'm sure, find a way to have her involved, because there are going to be scenes with, like, say, the Queen of Hearts, or with Shadow Alice, or Adult Alice, where Susie most definitely can voice Alice. If we feel that her attempts at being Child Alice, you know, sort of directly don't work, We may try some sort of digital manipulation to get just a higher register and sort of make her sound more childish. But if that doesn't work, then maybe we need to find a standalone separate voice actress. We'll see.
There's no shortage of people asking to do voice work.
That is true. There is no shortage of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the plan is to bring Susie back.
All right. Moving on to the Scruffy Bumps post. Dusk says, yes. I actually made a superhero for this very same problem. So it's nice to see someone else doing the same. Like pet abuse. So
yeah, I think that abusers of pets need a dark superhero to come kick their butts. And that's what Scruffy Bumps is all about.
I would like to be the hero that stands on their necks for a while.
Yeah, this was the post in which I shared a little bit of, well, not just a little bit. We actually shared the proper storyboard of the animation that you saw today. So if you're curious what a storyboard for the animation that you saw today looks like, because you're interested in animation and storyboarding and things like that, that is available over on Patreon. You just go there and click on this PDF right here, and it'll pop up a PDF of the storyboard that was used to drive the animation for the animation that you saw today.
Yeah. We should play the animation again at the end of the stream.
We will.
Before we go to the patron names.
Why not?
Why not? Sabella says, I love this, and now my cat has a superhero figure. Yeah, that's nice to think about.
Portal Diver says, will Scruffy Bumps and the other plush rabbits make an appearance in the new game? I assume you're referring to the Alice game. We hadn't really planned that, so no, but
Probably not.
who knows?
What else we got? Montefiorium. Thank you. It's a really cool story and awesome song. Now I often sing this song for my cat. Do you really?
I've heard people are getting addicted to the song, and
good song.
It does get stuck in your head, which is the sign of a good song.
Yeah. Smiling Wolf 21. I love this concept. I think more people should teach their children not to abuse animals. I agree.
So my idea behind this is to bring back the notion of like a legend or a fairy tale. Santa Claus as a character obviously has survived the ages. The tale of Red Riding Hood is one of the oldest fairy tales in the world, and it teaches children to be cautious around strangers, things like that. I just feel like we need a fairy tale that teaches kids to be nice to animals, or else. Santa Claus teaches you to be nice in general, but he's not specific about, be nice to animals. So this is sort of like Santa Claus specifically geared towards be nice to animals. And it's not like, if you're not, I won't bring you presents. It's more like, if you're not, I'll murder you.
Santa Claus.
Ba-dum-bum.
Remember that time where we used to do cat noises when we were looking at the pins?
I do remember that.
Pretty funny. Morgan Wenerick. I definitely feel I identify with Scruffy Bumps. I get very passionate about this subject, and cats are the best. I like cats. I like dogs and cats. I like animals.
Like them both. Yes.
I'm not going to read this one out, but I'm going to show you.
Oh my God.
Cycross D4
I
wrote an
I know.
thing, but can we see that?
No.
It's most of that page.
He emailed me and said he had some story ideas, and I asked him to please contribute them publicly, and I owe it a read. I just have been extremely busy. But you can see the comment on page here. And so he did bring in some thoughts on this. Now, I briefly read through it. There's some cool ideas. And I need to respond to that.
There you go. Moving along to the All Hail Bill the Lord post. Is how you pronounce it?
Don't know. Is that what it is?
Before Typhoon Madness.
Maybe. Let's see. If I pull up Typhoon Madness, does it? No.
You might have to go to it another way, but carefully.
Okay, but while we're here, I just want to say that when I posted this Typhoon video up on to Patreon, what is funny to me, first off, this screenshot that they used as the thumb, that's not even China. That is most certainly the Philippines or some other Southeast Asian country. It's not China. And then
Some of the comments on that YouTube video.
they're pretty awful. But then the title of the YouTube video is that the typhoon destroyed China. And, you know, as people who are sitting in China and it's not destroyed, and in fact, where my house is located, you see that little white circle? That's where my house is located. The typhoon literally made landfall like right here on the coast. So we were right in the path of it. I can tell you that no one here got destroyed. But that's YouTube videos for you.
But that video is full of just such obvious fake CG stuff, along with stuff that I know for a fact. Yeah, it was probably real, but it definitely wasn't this year.
And it didn't happen in China.
But yeah, some like those comments, they range from, you know, I pray for the people of China to, oh, China got what was coming to it, and there's just so much nonsense going off.
There's a lot of racism in there.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to reply to some of them,
No,
but
you can't do
you
it.
can't do it.
Okay, here's the post you were talking about.
What's it about?
Hail Bilth Lord. I was trying to do a kind of Cthulhu-y thing when I did that. Anyway.
All right. You should have used that crazy ass font. What's it called?
Oh, right.
The one that looks hellish.
Yeah.
I forget the
well.
name of it. Rugner again saying, I love this so much. Love those creepy multi-faced guys. Yeah, kind of creepy.
They're super
I like
cool.
them.
Yep.
Mark Muir says that would be scary. A faceless void. All voids faceless?
Do voids have faces?
Exactly. A faced void would be weirder.
It would be, wouldn't it?
Rachel Garza adoring the new artwork. Bill's never looked so menacing.
He's pretty cool in that. That's for sure.
Jennifer Morpin loves the snakes, looking at Bill like, who are you?
Yeah, so I think I saw some comment on Patreon where people were confused why a lizard would be a lord of a snake. Is that in
Was it Lucky Dragon?
It might have been.
Yeah, I saw you'd already replied to him, so I didn't put it in here.
Okay, well.
Um,
But yes, I did write that there are lizards known to eat snakes, so it's okay if Lord Bill Groth wants to lord over the snakes. But I mean, if you got a giant magic brain that you could use to create a landscape of illusion, and you could turn yourself into like the mega king of the lizard kingdom, then why wouldn't you include snakes as your servants?
Mark Muir goes on to suggest that the thing that would scare Alice most is blindness, like darkness, but introduce the fears through sounds initially. So, quite cool.
That's quite cool.
Quite cool, Mark.
Yeah, this is a post, again, for those of you who haven't seen all this stuff before, like a post like this, I even pasted the art brief, the task stuff into this, so you can kind of see what drives the process of the work that we're doing, because behind every image like this, there is the story, and then there's all the thinking that we do about the location of this in the game and why it is working the way it does. And so, you know, there's nothing random about this location or the characters that you see appearing within it or any of that kind of stuff. There's quite a lot of text that goes into that, and a lot of these posts I share that stuff as well.
Yes, CDB Raiden says Zalgo text. Sounds right.
Yeah, there
I
you
think it
go.
was Zalgo. Yeah.
Blue Hero 96 says, so if Bumby can fuck people up with hypnosis, is it possible that Radcliffe was under his influence to an extent or in entirety? You know, my feelings about Radcliffe's involvement were more along the lines that the two of them conspired together, and that Radcliffe just wants the money and that Bumby was after the kids. And so they're both evil, they both have different goals, but they managed to work together, conspire together. I don't know that Bumby needs to hypnotize Radcliffe. The issue I would see in that is that if Radcliffe then found Bumby had died, Radcliffe would be free. But actually what happens is that once Radcliffe sees that Bumby's found his way underneath a moving train, he freaks out because Bumby was the thing that he thought was keeping Alice in check and stopping Alice from investigating further into the mystery around the death of her parents. So once Radcliffe sees Bumby removed from the chessboard, he freaks out. And we have artwork that goes along with that, where you see Alice being expelled from the home for wayward children. All of that plays out inside of Asylum. So we will go there and we will explore some of that stuff. But yeah, there's not the notion of Bumby hypnotically controlling Radcliffe, no.
All right. Moving along to the last one, which is the obsessive compulsive crowd design rabbit post. So I guess maybe we've already said a bunch of this today, but let's have a look. Marnie Anderson says that it looks amazing, but still wants to see the green fuzzy rabbit. I would buy that in a heartbeat. Well, it's...
So the green
here.
fuzzy rabbit, we can't make as a production... Is it in here anywhere? No, we cannot make it as a production thing and sell it and ship it, because the material itself, like, it just comes apart. It's not really meant to be a production material. The other thing is that when you try to do the embroider stitching on top of that material, it gets all like underneath the needle and the stitching, and it's just a mess. So trust me, I have some of those samples in my house. You don't want those in your house. They fur all over the place, and up close they're really not put together very well. And let us tell you, when customers receive our plush toys and something's just a little bit off, they're like, refund satisfaction now! So I don't want to be responsible for sending out wonky, super furry, kind of messed up, shedding green furry monster things.
Envy looks good now.
Yeah, I think it looks pretty good. And this fur doesn't fall apart, and it doesn't... And also, it's only being used in kind of a limited application, and we're not trying to embroider on top of it and stuff like that.
It kind of looks a little bit like rock and roll.
It does.
You know, sometimes we get Zendesk tickets in from people who've bought distressed rabbits, and they're saying, like, it only came with one eye. You know, this is like... this level of quality is unacceptable.
Yeah, it's great.
It's like, you saw the pictures of the rabbit before you bought it, right? It has one eye.
That's awesome.
You don't get many of them, but a couple come in.
Oh, well.
Lucky Dragon suggests, instead of a heart in the center of the chest for OCD, since that's already been done, what about the symbol for order? Did you see that? There's a web page here. Obviously, the links don't work when you print them out.
Yeah, I saw the comments, and I think that that's a good idea. So that has had a pin stuck in it, and we will come back to that and see if it can make sense.
All right.
I'm trying to find Rage Rabbit. There it is. I don't know if Rage Rabbit has the photos of the... No, it doesn't. We do have this rabbit on the way, because I saw somebody in the chat ask what's going on with Rage Rabbit. So it is on the way. It'll be here soonish. It's still getting made. Don't worry.
Right.
No.
Juan Romero. Oh, with a little negative comment here. Let's have a look. I see a lot of work going into development into plushies, but I'm not into plushies at all. However, he does say the image of London on that post, whatever it was, is great. Seems like a nightmare for a game engine, though.
Right. Well, there is work being done on plush toys I've mentioned before, and you can see here Jennifer Daw is the primary designer for these, and then she works in collaboration with my wife, who is the one who produces a lot of the products that we put over there on Mysterious. And Mysterious is the shop that feeds my family. So if you complain about us making plush toys and selling them online, then you're complaining about the way that we feed ourselves, and that's not cool. The money that we raise on Patreon goes to pay the artists who do the work on Alice Asylum and other projects like that, like Oz Adventures and things like that. And if you've been following along at all, you'll see that the majority of the posts that we do there and the majority of the content that gets produced by that team, it's all about Alice, and it's a lot. Like we are making a lot of content, so don't worry, your Patreon funds are being converted wisely into Alice Asylum stuff. And when it comes to the work that gets done on things like Plushie Dreadfuls, those things pay for themselves. Like, we don't use Patreon money to make plush toys, but I do like to use Patreon as a platform for crowd design, for getting feedback on the plush toys, because I want to prove the model, as I've said many times before, I want to prove the model of opening up the design process to the crowd, not just for games, but for toys and anything else that we make. So I think I've said before, like, if it bothers you, just look away.
Well.
You know, and then come back to the next post, because most of the posts that we put up are filled with Alice art.
Well, yeah, Lucky Dragon went on to explain most of that. And then Juan Romero came back just to like go, oh, okay, cool, thanks. So
Yeah.
he seemed cool with it.
Not a big deal,
And
but we
thanks to
do
Lucky Dragon for explaining that.
we do see that comment from time to time.
Yep.
So
Dew 3 suggests giving the OCD rabbit a repetitive pattern, but mess it up somewhere on the body. You know, like sometimes you see like somebody like tiles a room and then one of the tiles is wrong.
sure.
So they say like if it was striped, it would be like white, black, white, black, white, white, black, white. Good idea. But yeah, but that might trigger a lot of OCD.
It might. We don't want to trigger people's OCD with our
OCD rabbits.
I saw Shorty in the house ask about the mini rabbits. Those are being made. That's what's up here. These are like little tiny ones, and then she's going to put them all together in a set. Again, that's even says there, Yin, my wife, is working on a collection of the tiny little Plushie Dreadfuls, and that's what those are. So yes, Shorty's in the house. These will be prepared and in the shop in time for you to buy them for Christmas.
All right. These, the worry rabbits that go into the anxiety rabbit, will also be going in the shop separately?
Yeah, she's making it's kind of a holdup. I don't really understand what's going on, because I've been bugging her about it, because we get bugged about it all the time. These little guys are the little worry rabbits that go in the back of the anxiety rabbit. And the idea was that she's going to put them in their own little bags and sell them in like a group of 5 or 10, and also include like some sort of little clip or something so you could stick them onto your own shirt and then carry your little anxieties around with you. So anyway, that's something she's doing. I can go bug her again about what's going on, but I think the last that I heard, she told me she was waiting on she's making some little custom bag that they're going to go into. So
all right,
it should be this month. They should appear this month, but that's basically the idea. Is those little white anxiety bunnies you see there will be sold separately.
Yeah.
Oh, and she's doing that. She's doing like a set of that shy rabbit plus socks plus
Shy rabbit.
Look,
plus socks.
we could talk all day about stuff that she's making. I try to limit how much we talk about this stuff, because a lot of stuff is getting made, but yeah, there you go. That's it.
That's questions pretty much done.
Yay.
Yay for that.
Okay, so we've reached the end of the stream. We're going to ask one more question. You said you had a good one, and then that's it. So you've got one more chance to win something. What's your amazing question?
What?
Terrible.
Is your name? No. What was it? Oh yeah. We have been pondering a thing to do for kind of like the end of year Patreon goal reward. Kind of settling on a plushy Vorpal blade.
Oh yeah.
Is that something that you would be interested in? Are we going down the right path? Yes or no? Is it a good idea, bad idea?
So the question
Let
is,
us know.
on a scale of 1 to 10, who wants a plushy Vorpal blade? There you go. Let us know in the comments, and then we will allow Nightbot to select a winner. In the meantime, if you've enjoyed what we've done here today, you can support all the things that you've seen by going over to my blog, AmericanMcGee.com, and there's a list of things that you can do. One, we have a giant mailing list. It's over 50,000 people signed up on there now.
Wow!
We don't really use it for much. We're basically just collecting names to show EA how much interest there is in a new Alice game. So anyway, you can sign up for that mailing list. Then there's also a bunch of places I'm active on social media. And, you know, if you want, you can go onto Twitter and call me a traitor. I always enjoy that.
Give it a go.
I mean, it just is a toxic, horrible platform. But anyway, if you want to curse at me and call me names and tell me I'm a traitor for living in China, please go to Twitter and do that. Other platforms I'm on, like Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. And I'm also on what's that one? Tumblr.
Grinder.
I'm also on Grinder, but I keep forgetting to put the links up here on the page. Then there's Patreon, which we've mentioned a bunch of times. Again, all the posts over there unlock for free after 3 days. But if you want to support all the art and all the stuff that's getting made, you can go to Patreon, and like it's as little as $1 a month, and you
Do
get.
need to update those pictures.
We do need to update those pictures. And then last but not least, we do sell things over on the Mysterious Shop, and that's how my family eats. So if you go and buy stuff like skulls or wallets or whatever over there, or plush toys, then thank you from me and my family for eating. We appreciate it. And Martin.
People seem stoked about the Plushie Vorpal blade, and a couple of people said they'd prefer real ones, which isn't going to happen because you can't send them.
We can't even send plastic replica blades from China to the rest of the world. I think that people have special exemptions, obviously, because there are such things as like plastic swords and whatnot that get sold from China and sent to the rest of the world. But using the relatively standard e-packet routes that we use, we cannot send sword knife shaped things at all. So did you ask our shipping guys if we can send the
They
plush?
seem to think it's fine. They
Okay.
got a bit confused at the start, even though I repeatedly said soft plushy blade.
Right.
But then when I sent that picture, they got it.
Hmm.
So they seem to think it's okay.
Yeah.
Still, might be a little risk involved. I don't know.
Yeah. Malicious Misery says that there were replicas from Epic Weapons. So I have some of those here. And at one point I tried to give those away as prizes, and I put them in a box and I tried to ship them out, and they were like, nope. And they came right back. So
Even though you couldn't cut anything
yeah,
with it.
they don't have a sharp blade on them, but they're blade knife shaped, and they don't accept that. So anyway.
Somebody had a good idea. I don't know if it's good or not. Sell molds to do casts of
Yeah.
Vorpal blades, or in like
Yep.
ice
if you'd
cubes, I guess.
Yeah, you could make Vorpal blade cookies or cakes or something like that. That's a good idea. Yeah,
Not bad. Whoever it was that scrolled past.
We'll think about that. All right, that is it. We're gonna roll it, and it is Elwood J. Finley has won, and congratulations, Elwood. I feel like that is the name of the guy from the Blues Brothers that I like.
It is.
Yeah, I
Dan
like that
Aykroyd.
movie. Well, congratulations, Elwood. I don't know if you are any relation to the Blues Brothers guy, but if you are, then that's cool. You need to send an email to support@mysterious.design. I'm tired. I've been talking nonstop
Design
for 2
at
hours.
support.mysterious.
Send an email to support@mysterious.design. Include your name, your phone number, your mailing address. Do all that in a human readable, non-anger inducing format. Also do it within 24 hours, and we will send you what you won is a Wolfenswine. Where is it? Stupid damn menu. We'll send you a Wolfenswine of your very own to cuddle, and there you go. He's asking what did he win, or that's what you won. You won a wolf wearing a pigskin. It's sort of Hannibal Lecter-y.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, so the
So
pocket
enjoy
inside.
that.
Excellent.
That's it. That's all. The live stream is finished. Why don't
Woo!
we're gonna watch the Scruffy Bumps video
Ooh, yeah.
one more time, and then when that's over, the credits are gonna roll. So we're gonna say farewell. Now remember, don't say anything naughty while that video's playing, because they'll still be able to hear us.
Man,
I know you've been waiting 2 hours to say something terrible,
I
but
can wait another minute,
you're gonna have to wait another minute. So anyway, to everyone
Okay.
out there, thank you for joining us today. You're all loved very much. We will maybe be back in 2 weeks.
Maybe.
if there's not another typhoon. And
Get bent.
get bent and jib it up.
Jib it up.
The world is full of friends with fur who fill our lives with woofs and purrs, who seek our love and pets and snacks. And if you're cruel, they won't fight back. Well, if you harm your dog or cat, well, Scruffy Bumps does not like that. He moves about through darkened places, learning names and hunting faces.
Scruffy Bumps loves all his friends, and Scruffy Bumps will take revenge. And Scruffy Bumps knows where you are, and Scruffy Bumps is never far away.
The world is full of friends with fur who fill our lives with woofs and purrs, who seek our love and pets and snacks. And if you're cruel, they won't fight back. Well, if you harm your dog or cat, well, Scruffy Bumps does not like that. He moves about through darkened places, learning names and hunting faces.
Scruffy Bumps loves all his friends, and Scruffy Bumps will take revenge. And Scruffy Bumps knows where you are, and Scruffy Bumps is never far away.
Get your Scruffy Bumps at mysterious.americanmcgee.com.